dear audience, dear Professor Eva Neher, it's a great honor for me to make this introduction. Professor Eva Neher was born in an industrial district, Ruhrgebiet, of Germany. And after finishing her schools, she went to the Georg Wilhelm University in Göttingen. And after graduating, she made her PhD studies. Her thesis was on bacterial production of poly-beta-hydroxy butyric acid. And after finishing her PhD studies, she started to work as an assistant professor at the Universität Göttingen and also in the Max Planck Institute. And after giving life not less than 5 children, her interest turned into the science education. And around 2000, she dreamed about a new institution, X-Lab, and finally she carried out the work which led to working in a nice building, which probably we will see in the presentation. X-Lab is very famous for its welcoming secondary school students, where the science is seems for them very fascinating. And some of my former and present students were attended international science camp, which was a very big impression for them and led them to study and work in scientific field. I think her thinking about science education exemplary, and it's a great honor to hear her words about this topic. Thank you very much.
Is this loud enough? Can you understand me? Okay. I'm very glad to be here in Szeged for the second time in my life. The first time was, I guess, in either 2002 or 2003, when the EMBO, the European Molecular Biology Organization, organized teacher training programs in different places in Europe. And one of these places was Szeged. And I was here not giving a talk, I was here just presenting a poster. So, but I have nice memory, and I was staying in this hotel, and so I enjoyed already more than 10 years ago this area. And for a couple of years I came back to Budapest more or less once a year, and so I feel very, very much at home in your country. So now I will take you to the X-Lab in Göttingen, and X-Lab means experimental lab. So X from experimental, lab from laboratory. And now I will take you there. We have Hungary is here, and I will take you to Germany, which is definitely only 1.5 hours flight. It's not very far. Göttingen is in the middle of the country, especially after reunification of the two parts of Göttingen, which was in 1989. In the middle of the science campus of Göttingen, we have this colorful building. And I will tell you a few things about this building later on. It's a very funny building, and it is experimental itself. So this is Göttingen. Göttingen is small. It's much smaller than Szeged. We have only 130,000 inhabitants. And this here is the medieval center of Göttingen. The diameter is only 1.2 kilometers. And of course, around there are the institutes of the university today. And there's one of our students, Magdalena, who is here in this room today, and she visited X-Lab for 3 weeks for the International Science Camp in 2005. I'm very happy that you are here, where she is. There she is. I'm very happy that she is here today. So, what I'm talking about is, first of all, the University of Göttingen, then the Göttingen Research Campus, and the XLab idea, XLab programs, XLab International, and the vision. And in the very end, there will be a surprise. Okay, this is University of Göttingen. It's a little bit more than 272 years old. It was established by King George II, King of Great Britain and of Hanover. There was Lower Saxony was gained by, or the Great King, take it one, vice versa, by King George II. And he wanted to build a university in his kingdom, and so he decided to have, it was decided that the university will be founded south of Lower Saxony, south of Hanover, and there was one reason for this. For the cities of Lüneburg, for example, or Celle, both cities are in the north of Hanover, they were afraid, the people were afraid of the students, for it could be a dangerous situation for their daughters. So, but Göttingen was tough enough to stay. Okay, we have quite a lot of very famous scientists. I mentioned Gauss, Walter Nernst, Max Born, Max Planck, David Hilbert. You all know, except for Gauss, what happened to these famous mathematicians and physicists during the last, within the last century. So today, this is a view of the historic observatory. This was built by Gauss, and today it's renovated. It's no longer used for astronomical studies, but the couple is still working, and it is now used for events, for talks and so on. But we do not have only the historical buildings. On the new campus, we have, for example, here the Department of Physics, which was directed in the last during the last 10 years. And so nearly all the institutes, meanwhile, moved out of the inner city to the natural science campus. We are a comprehensive university. You can study all subjects except for art, and music, and architecture, but all the other faculties are present at the University of Göttingen today. The number of students we have is pretty much comparable with the number of students in Szeged. We have, right now, we have 28,000 students, and about 20% or maybe a bit more are studying natural sciences. So the campus is not only the university. We have 5 Max Planck institutes, and you should know, after the Second World War, the former research society, Kaiser Wilhelm Society, it was closed, was shut down, and then the Max Planck Institute, or the renewal of this research institution, took place in Göttingen, and it was named after Max Planck, and so the headquarters of the Max Planck Society was situated in Göttingen until 1994. And so today we have the Max Planck Institute for Biophysical Chemistry. This was actually built and established already in 1970-71 according to an idea and to the concept of Manfred Eigen, who is a Nobel Prize winner in chemistry in 1967. He is still alive today. He is 88 years old, and traveling is no longer possible for him. The Max Planck Institute for Experimental Medicine is there. Dynamics and self-organization, they changed their name, and the Max Planck Institute for Solar System Research. In addition, we have the German Primate Center. They do studies in behavior and also on viruses and so on. So German Aerospace Center and the Laser Laboratory. So Göttingen is dominated by research all over. This is just one image. This is the Max Planck Institute for Biophysical Chemistry. Here is the Max Planck Institute for Dynamics and Self-Organization. On this image it is still under construction, but nowadays it's finished. And this is a village not far away from the X-Lab, and this is the place where we host our students today, right now. So X-Lab idea and concept. Yeah. This was a situation we all faced in the early 90s, and everybody, scientists, companies, politicians, they all were very much worrying about this situation. The number of students in mathematics, chemistry, physics was going down very dramatically. And everybody was really very worrying about it. And so, I had the idea to build or to establish an experimental laboratory for young people, for those who not already decided where to go and what to study, already in the beginning of the 90s. And I told about this concept to the former Minister of Science, and he was a real politician. He's still in politics. And he said, we have to do it. Just start. And I started. I started already with the first program in 1999. 5 courses. And in 2000, we became a non-governmental organization. I got already some money from a foundation, and I didn't know where to go with the money. Not my private bank account; it was impossible. So we had this NGO, and yeah, and then there was a call in 2000 from the minister himself, and he said, "The X-Lab has to be built." And I said, okay, I will do this. And that's why things can happen, and how things can happen. Sometimes it is like it is very easy. So here you have the science campus. I go back for again. A view from the science campus. The physics faculty I just showed you, faculty of chemistry, some institutes belonging to the biology faculty, forestry, the German Primate Center. It's much, much bigger than you can see here. And here is the Max Planck Institute for Solar System Research nowadays. So, and the X-Lab is quite in the middle. So, and this was according to my wishes. It was not just a wish. I said this is a must. There's only one way to organize and to run this experimental laboratory in the best way. We have to be in the middle of the campus. We have to cooperate with all the scientific institutes, not with the institutes, but with the scientists, and also with for maintenance. We need the help of the bigger organization, and that's why we are there. And let us just look at the building. We have it's a funny construction. It's a hanging house, so we are solitary. We cannot grow. That's a pity. And you can see, no, you can't see, but here are 4 pillows, and on these big pillows there are these beams from concrete and steel, and here are some iron strings going down through the whole building, and all the floors are hanging. It was not so easy to build this. There are only 5 buildings in Europe according to this construction. But it fits to the concept completely. So here we have our Department of Physics, Department of Chemistry, Biology, and Neurophysiology. On top we have a plastic covered roof, which is also a good experience. We don't have air condition. In Germany, air condition is only there where machines are, never in rooms which are used by humans. And through this plastic-covered roof, it gets extremely hot in summer. It gets cold in winter. And if it is raining outside, we hear the rain before we see it on the street. So these are some funny things. Okay, this is a plane of the ground floor, and I just explain to you the Department of Biology. We always have a laboratory coming along with a seminar room. Since the students, this is the case in chemistry, it's not so strongly separated in physics, it's not needed there. But in biology and chemistry, we have to separate the theory teaching from the experimental work. One reason is the safety reasons, of course. And it is very, very important to have both rooms at the same time for one group. For our teaching is very intensive. We teach one subject for the whole day. So not 45 minutes like at school, not maybe 90 minutes in the afternoon, but they start at 9 and they finish not before 5 o'clock in the late afternoon. And the day is not really scheduled. Of course there is a schedule, but the schedule maker is the experiment. When the experiment needs some time for incubation, there is some waiting time. So the students can have a break, they can go back to the seminar room, have some more introduction into the theory, or they go to the university canteen for the lunch break. So it's the experiment which is the time keeper. Okay, that's the way it is organized. We had only limited amount of money. This was absolutely limited. So 4 million euros, in those days it was 10 million D-mark, and not a single euro more. And this was the only way to accept, I had to accept this concept of this limited amount of money and said, okay, with this concept we can start immediately. Otherwise, we have to go through a very, very long procedure until more money will be granted. Okay, so the mission. The mission is bridging the gap between high school and university. So it's an out-of-school teaching. It is not within a school, but of course it is directed to high school students as well as university students. The concept providing hands-on experiment in a research-like environment. The equipment we can offer the students is mostly much above the equipment which a school can afford. Not only due to the money, but especially due to the knowledge how to operate things and how to build up the experiments, to design the experiments. So we are following this saying of Confucius: you hear and you forget, you see and you remember, you do and you understand. This is a saying which is today more than 3,000 years old, and I think it's still right. Ixlab's hallmarks: professionalism. All our lecturers are experts in their field. They are trained or experienced as scientists. They worked in research for a couple of years, but in research not everybody can make it to the top. So there are many people who in between look for other jobs in different fields. And there are those who are passionate in teaching. And those people I like to attract. And they are mostly employed, fully employed at the Ixlab, and some are working on a honorary base. So these people are the secret. Their knowledge, their enthusiasm is the secret to the success of the institution. So intensity. I already said that the students in our labs concentrate on one topic for the entire day. And you can see here in the face of this girl. She is absolutely concentrated. And when I go through the X lab, when I guide visitors from one lab to the other, the students don't recognize us. You know, we just pass and they continue their work, for they don't want to make a mistake by being interrupted. It can easily happen. Okay, interdisciplinarity. This is really a task to show, but here you can see one of our setups we have in neurophysiology. We have 8 meanwhile, and you see here all the equipment, even the microscope, is physics. And, but the question is biology. And here we have to magnify this egg several times to show it. It's an egg of a frog. I will show it again. And we are measuring membrane potentials in this egg. Internationality. It is so important. It's a reality today. And when I started with the international program in 2003, and I went to the president of the university and said, I would like to do an international camp. He was asking, why? What? International? He couldn't understand. He was from quite a different department, so he was from the social sciences and not from the natural sciences. And he said, how much does it cost? I said, 100,000 euros for 3 weeks. Ooh. And I said, I have some money. Okay, and then he said, go ahead. No problem. Since that time, since July 2003, we do these international camps year after year, and since 2006, we even have 2 camps per summer. So that's the way you have to show the people, I will do it, and then they agree with it. So principles in teaching, modern research like laboratories, professional equipment, and support by technicians. The technicians are really the most important, not the most, but they are as important as the scientists. They are really very, very important. For the students coming to our lab, they have to have success in the end of the day. And if they do not have a successful experiment, then it shouldn't be the fault of dirty glasses. It is their mistake. They made a mistake. And they can discuss how is this my result not good enough, but not due to a bad preparation and of the course itself. So the technicians are really very, very important. And I saw at your school that you have in the other lab, in the other school, I don't remember the name, I can't tell. There are technicians as well, and they are really very important. Okay, X-Lab programs. We have courses for high school students of Germany. They normally come with their teacher, but we also have classes from all over Europe and worldwide. Right now, we had a group from the high school of the National University of Singapore with us. We have groups from the KSA, the Korean Science Academy, which is in Busan, a high school. We have students from the high school in Poland and from the Netherlands. So many groups come not only from all over Germany, but from all over the world. Then we have these intensive courses on specific topics. That means, in this case, we offer a program and the students apply individually to join this program. We first of all have to look for a grant. For the students, for the individual student, it is normally much too expensive. They cannot afford it. But they have to apply, they have to send us their records, they have to send us a recommendation letter, a letter of motivation, and then we select the students. We form small groups to guarantee that the teaching is really very intensive and that they are personally treated. Then we have teacher training courses, of course. This is, it's growing, this program for the teacher training is growing. But in Germany, teachers normally have training programs which last for an afternoon, maybe for a day. They get materials which they can use at school tomorrow. When they come to us, they get nothing. They get an input in their brain, and they have to do the experiments, and they have to stay for 2 days, or even more than 2 days. So they are treated like the students. And those who come, they really like it. For they immediately realize that they are offered something which they can really use, but in a different way. For many subjects in the high school's curriculum, they never studied it. They haven't been there in biology 30 years ago. So many of the teachers, they really like it, but it's not easy for them to organize, for they have to get free time from their headmaster. Yeah, and then the international camp, and this is something I will tell about in more detail. Now I'll just show you some images about the department, the different departments. So this is physics. We have many different topics: laser physics, radioactivity, nuclear spectroscopy, X-ray physics, atomic physics, optics only slightly, wave concepts, and so on. Astrophysics takes place only during the international camp. So it's pretty much above that what is taught in a school, but only theoretical in school. This is just an image taken of the laser physics. We have 4 laser physics, lasers. This is a helium neon laser. We have 4 of these, and this is not a box. This is an open system, and the student can adjust the beams and can really learn how a laser is functioning. Chemistry, again, we have a long, long list of different experiments. We cover from inorganic chemistry through biochemistry, organic chemistry, environmental chemistry. It's a whole program which can be offered and can be done in X-Lab. The students are working, this is a concept. We do have some analytical machines. For example, this is a high-performance liquid chromatography, and we are very happy that we have it. It is in use all the time. And, but when it came to bigger machines, we cannot afford, we don't have the specialists. And these is, for example, the case for NMR spectroscopy. In this case, we take the students and go to the chemistry lab, which is very close. It's just 200 meters or even less, and let them do the analysis of their substance there. That's why we are in the middle of the country. Biology, this is the biggest department in X-Lab. Anatomy, biochemistry, biotechnology, cell biology, and so on. Molecular biology, of course, we do have all these different subjects, and behind all these subjects is one specialist, one expert. Anatomy, students like it very much. This is a student from Ecuador, and he is now studying medicine in Germany. This is a student from Korea. This is a molecular biology, geoelectrophoresis. And just to explain, this is a cartoon coming from a textbook about transformation. There are 2 major methods, either with a gene gun or with Agrobacter tumefaciens. This is again a cartoon. This is, you will find this in the textbooks. But in X-Lab, you will find a real machine. And so there are only 3 gene guns in Göttingen, and we have 1. And we do all these experiments in molecular green plant molecular biology in our labs by ourselves. So the students really can see and can experience what is behind this dangerous method, gene gun and genetic modified crops. What does it mean? Here they can experience it, and hopefully they learn that it is not really that dangerous as it is known from newspapers. Department of Ecology, we have a very, very well educated a specialist in ecology. This is Dirk Gries. He was a scientist until the age of 45, but then his scientific career came to limits, and he decided to come to our lab. So we do forest ecology, and yesterday I heard in your school that you do forest ecology as well, where you had to go to quite different places for the studies. In Göttingen, we are very happy to have limestone and Buntsandstein pretty close to each other, and so the students go to different places, make the comparison, and do real investigations. We also have lake and ecology. So we go to a nearby lake which is 40 meters in depth, and we have these boats. Each boat has a capacity for 12 people. We have 2 boats, so we can take a whole class to this lake, take the probes, investigate some of the probes immediately, for temperature will not last forever, and others are taken to the lab, and we will do the microscopy and water analysis later on. Department of Neurobiology, Göttingen is very famous in neurophysiology and neurobiology research. We have one animal which is used for for behavioral studies. This is a fish, Gnatonemus persii, and these fishes cannot hear, they cannot see. The only sense they have are electrocytes in their body, on the surface of their body, and by picking up, registering signals, electrical signals, they can communicate with the surrounding. The other organism is the leech, and we do action potential measurements from the isolated axon. We have this oocyte. This oocyte is prepared. RNA is inserted so that a membrane protein is in the membrane, an ion channel is in the membrane, and we do the measurements with these pipettes and measure the membrane potentials. The locust is used for investigating the visual system, and these are the 4 animals we do use most. So now I come to XLab International, and Magdalena Kusa just remembered me, or we were talking about that in former years the students could stay here in the guest house, but we had to give up this location and had to look for other places. So the international camps, I mentioned it before, since 2003 we welcomed exactly 600 participants from 44 countries, maybe 45 meanwhile, and this year we will welcome another 65 students. So it's really very nice. It's internationally mixed. We accept only 4 students from one country, and once we had 34 students from 70 different countries. There was only one language in common, and this was English. This is a typical program. So the students are choose their program per 1 week in advance, And they either choose analytical chemistry, this is just an example, every year it changes slightly, or freshwater ecology, and they do not change from one topic to the other. They stay in this course for the entire week. In the weekend we do an excursion, and then the next week they have another course, and so on. So 3 weeks of really very intensive learning and working, and in the end a final symposium where we invite a scientific speaker and so on. Okay, this is a number. Oh, you are right, we are coming quite to the end. So we have 600 now here. And Hungary, we had 15 participants from Hungary during these last 12 years, and 3 more will come this year. So you easily can see that it is nicely mixed. One country is very dominant, this is Spain, but there are some organizations in Spain who promote this and who grant this, give the students some pay for the students completely, and therefore we could accept more, and they are always there. Okay, the places are limited, but those who like to come to Göttingen to experience the program are much more. So we have international cooperation with the Netherlands, Liechtenstein, Spain, South Korea, Poland, Singapore, China, Ukraine, Russia, and Kazakhstan. And from all these countries, groups are coming, but what they cannot enjoy is the internationality, so the mixed situation. So this is growing. These are not student days, these are individuals. We have had, last year we had 359 individuals coming within such a group beside of the international camp. So this is a total number. This is a development of XLab. So this decrease is due to the fact that in Germany the school system tends to change very often, and they decided to have to reduce the number of years per 1 year, so the people could not there was less flexibility, but this will change again. So these are the students from abroad. These are the students from all over Germany except for Lower Saxony, and these are the students from Lower Saxony. But what you can recognize, there are some limits, and this limit is due to the fact that we do not have yet a nice and suitable guest house. This is something we really have to solve and have to overcome these limits. Of course, during summertime, we are already booked out also in the laboratories, but the main reason is that we lack a guest house. So, and now coming back to the situation before, I started to show you, showing you with this image. It was finished in 2000. These are the number of students in Germany in science, physics, chemistry, and biology. And what you can recognize is since 2000, the numbers are increasing very nicely. Of course, this is not due to the fact that there is XLab. We are much too small. There are many, many, many activities all over Germany to make this tremendous change. But if you look at the births, we had in 1965, we had 1,350,000 babies per year, and today we have less than 700,000 babies per year. And this makes the difference. And when you see this peak, and you see this peak, there is an explanation for this development. It was not a loss of interest. It was just the 20 years later on the fact that there are less young students. Okay, that's it. But anyhow, we have to go on with all our efforts, for I don't expect that the birth rate in Germany will go up again. I don't think so. So the Alumni Association, very important. We ask the students to join the Alumni Association, so we stay in contact with them. And from Hungary, we have 16 students as members in our Alumni Association. The alumni stay in contact with us, form long-lasting friendship across cultural and political, religious and social borders, experience the feeling of being a member of the scientific community at an early age. This is very important. And let me just give you an example what for this friendship, interest also across religious and cultural borders. There was one student from Hungary. He came and said to me, "Oh, I'm so excited. There is a student from Israel. I like to speak Hebrew." Unfortunately, the student from Israel was from Palestine. He was not speaking Hebrew. But anyhow, they got friends, and it worked out quite absolutely without any problems. Okay, now I will give you an impression of this camp, and I hope it can do it. No, no, back.
Guten Tag, and hello everyone. My name is Ian Thomas. I attended the XLab International Science Camp in July 2007. I'm from the United States in Southern California. For me, going to the XLab was the single most important moment in my life so far, because it was the moment that created the world that I live in now. Before the camp, I had never closely interacted with people who were my age that lived outside the United States. I had a wonderful time at the XLab, and I remember at the end of the Berlin excursion, I told the group that I would love to see them again, and that I hoped to return to Europe next summer. They all thought I was crazy and didn't take me seriously. Next summer, I was a guest at the 2008 XLab camp, and I met a whole new generation of students. That was 5 years ago, and every summer since, I've been traveling and meeting XLab students. As a direct influence of all my travels, I now study political science and will graduate college this year and pursue a PhD. In all of my journeys, the most special moments were when I was welcomed into the homes of my XLab friends. I truly enjoy staying with them. I've always encouraged them to come visit me in my home country. In fact, a couple summers ago, 2 students from my XLab group visited. One of them, Aista, is studying to be a physician and learned about being a doctor in the United States.
She's from Lithuania.
Another one from my year, Reika, visited me after she completed several medical internships near San Francisco. During our time together in Southern California, Reika and I began a romantic relationship, and August 1st is the 26th month that we've been together. So in every way possible, XLab has had a vast and extremely positive effect on my life. I could not imagine where I would be without it. So thank you to everyone who makes it possible. And as always, I hope to see each of you again very soon. Perhaps we can meet up next summer.
Okay, this was sent by Thomas, by Ian, as a gift for the 10th anniversary of the XLab Science Camp in 2013. So the vision. This is my guest house. It's still not there. It's still just an image. But we do already have the place. Here is the XLab, and 400 meters in this nice green area, there is a place where we can build it. But I'm still waiting for the money. The minister, the federal minister said, okay, I will give you 2 million euros. But it's so difficult to bring the money to Germany, to Göttingen. I still have to wait, and I'm struggling for this since years. We bought this place, the foundation, not the XLab Foundation is a different organization. We bought it already in the beginning of 2012. So, but I'm not getting tired before I have succeeded with this. Okay, this is the vision, one of the visions. And now let's look at the in the footsteps of the giants. You all know this person, Albert Einstein, and his famous equation. And I used several keywords in my talk: creativity, effort, enthusiasm, interdisciplinarity, internationality, professionalism, research, science, success. And let us do some calculations with these words, according to the Einstein equation. Science equals creativity times professionalism square. The next. Research equals internationality times interdisciplinarity square. And the last. Success equals enthusiasm times effort square. Either enthusiasm or effort will not help. All these criteria really have to come together. And this is all I wanted to tell you today. And these three formulas, maybe they are the important message for the students. That's all you have to know. Go ahead and follow your interest. Thank you so much.